متسرع يعني. He was a very kind of كده impatient kind of person. But Christ used that, just like he used St. Paul, just like he used John, and they were all very different personalities. Very different personalities. Your personality does not go away when you come closer to Christ and you become like this. It doesn't. If anything, it becomes more, I don't want to say glorified, but it becomes, if you're more like Christ, what else do you want? Use your talents, use everything to become more like Christ. Yeah, actually it prints out nicely here. So, at the end of the day, all I want you to get out of this is get out of the ego, and I want to keep it simple and short. Get out of this ego because it's not helping. You cannot change it. And take your true self and press yourself against Christ. And what that means, practically speaking, is keep all of this stuff that you put in your label, keep it aside, and honestly try to have a personal relationship with Christ. This is the only way you're going to get this. Okay? Don't stay in your box, please. Don't stay in your box. Get out of it. Don't let your ego and your pride control what you do. Let Christ control what you do. Okay? Does that make sense? I'm going to mention a few verses here, and then I'm gonna finish up. St. Paul says something very nice about this. He says, I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. This is that. There is neither... this is the interesting thing I wanted to mention. This is me, okay? This is the green. I'm not there yet. This is not my stage. My stage is still here. But if the yellow, if I take it and I press it against Christ, and if I take the red against Christ and the blue against Christ, we all have the same shape. This is where St. Paul says, there is no Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free, there is no male or female, for we are all one in Christ. We all take the shape of Christ. And the interesting thing about this, do you know in Coptic iconography, if you look at the Coptic iconography, do you realize that compared to the other arts, from other churches, all the pictures that you see upstairs in the church, whatever, they all look the same. All the men look the same. And even St. Mary, there's not much difference. And if you actually look at it, it all looks like Christ. And that's intentional. In the Coptic art, iconography, it's intentional that they make everyone look like Christ.
So you're comparing the same artist's work, for sure.
Yeah, thank you. That's it, that's all I have to say. So, do you guys have any comments or any thoughts, any struggles, anything that is hard to do, anything that is not realistic or not practical?
Well, can you just give... Sorry, go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. Can you just give one example of how I get a reading book? So just one.
I'll give you one example that every time someone insults you, or every time someone does something that hurts you, you're given two options. You're given the option to act based on this, or you're given the option to act based on this. And a lot of the times, we prefer that our ego is not hurt. And we prefer to react in a very aggressive way against people who are aggressive against us. Or become hostile. Or even if we think we're good Christians, we'll smile in their face, but in our hearts, we absolutely despise that person. Even if we don't despise that person, we don't want to talk to them or see them again. So this is the part where you're still living in that ego, because anything that touches the ego becomes very sensitive for you. So you're given the option of dealing with it this way or dealing with it in a Christian way. So this is just one example from, that's what I face personally, is when someone does something against me in any way, I have this two options. And it's very hard, it's very painful for me to say, who cares, انت ضايع, انت مين اساسا, خلاص, just get over it, just honestly try to love them, honestly try to absorb the situation and try to be genuinely friendly with them. It's very hard. Anything Anything else? Mary, did you have something to say?
I was about to say, like, sometimes, like, sometimes we show, we keep we're in the container, you know, we just show the outside. But with Christ, you know, so, I mean, with Christ, we want to show, you know, the clay inside. But I guess what you're trying to say is that we have to be showing that clay all the time.
To Christ.
Yeah, to Christ, but what about everybody else?
Don't worry about it. If everybody cares about taking their clay out of the bottle and putting it on Christ, that's the perfect church. He is the original. He is the mold. If we all print ourselves on Christ, I don't care if the blue or I'm just caring about what I'm doing. If I take my clay and I put it on Christ, that's all that matters. If every single one of us does this, we're going to have a very different church. We're going to have a very different Christianity to the world. We're going to preach a much stronger Christianity if we all do that. Yeah.
I really like that example because I see that these boxes are all the same and we're all trying to be like the typical Christian, and in these shapes we're all like the same inside the church. But when we take the clay from inside, we're all going to be Christ. So we're all going to deal with the Christ characteristics, not our characteristics.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you.
That's great.
حد عايز يلعب؟ بعد.
Yeah, small prayer. Announcement. Just the announcement that I wanted to tell you about is that if anyone is not working or studying during the summer, next Thursday, inshallah, we have a service كده. I don't think we've ever done this before, but بنجرب مع بعض يعني, we don't know. But on Thursday, the 29th, from 12:30 p.m. to 3:30, we're going to go to a place called Moisson Montréal. And this is basically a food service. Basically, it's a center, a large center that prepares food bags and food packages and stuff like that for organizations to distribute them in Montreal for underprivileged families or families that need help with food. So this is like a service that's pretty much, yeah, you should feel that way, it's basically a service of like manual labor. Yeah, you're not going to be talking to anyone. We're just going to go into like some large place. I don't know if it's like a factory, but like it's a large building, I guess. and we're gonna be like doing manual work, prepare, like helping them